I'll start with a very simple question because I want to be relatable to this particular crowd. The topic is about this crowd. It's about how everyone is trying to fix this generation and why everyone is trying to fix this generation. I was there 2 weeks back in Ahmedabad. I was talking to a bunch of people and they were telling me that a lot of people keep telling us that we just don't do work or we hate our work. But we just don't hate our work. We hate the question of why we are questioning everything that is happening around. We are questioning the status quo. We're questioning the basic as we are doing the why part of it. And that is something which we hate the most. We don't hate the work. And that line actually stayed with me and it still stayed with me. And that's the question which I'm trying to answer till today. That why we are trying to tell this generation that not to ask questions. I think there is a pattern. There's an actual pattern which is happening from decades now. We all generations have been part of that particular pattern. We've been constantly told that this is the way to do things. And a lot of my fellow speakers have already told this is the way to do things, right? And this pattern has not changed and this is still going where it is going next. But we as the enablers, we as the future have to rely on things that this generation needs a different thriving. This generation needs a different kick. And they believe in a different value chain all put together, right? I'll give you a very simple example and my fellow speakers will also be able to relate to it. We go to so many meetings where there's no agenda, there's no context, and we get out of the meeting, there's no conclusion also, right? And then for most of us, it feels okay because we've been doing this for years now. But I think this generation is different. If they don't feel meaningful coming out of a meeting, if they don't feel actually right coming out of a meeting, they call it out. And that's absolutely right. That's meaningful, right? That's absolutely meaningful. And they call it as wasteful time of theirs. And then we say that they're questioning the authority. They're questioning the line of chain. No, they're asking a very basic thing, which is situational awareness, which is efficiency awareness. That's not wrong. That's absolutely right, right? Now, I think there are a few things which some of the studies, some of the white papers clearly tells us. Across generations, across decades, we have seen that every generation has been disengaged at their work. Every generation has been burned out at their work, but they're not calling it out. They're not calling it out because of their own obvious reasons, because of on pressures or the family responsibilities or whatever they have. But I think this generation will walk very differently. And that's why I love this generation. I love the way they command. I love the way they answer very straight or ask the question. And I also love the way that they ask those hard questions which we never asked as individuals, right? There are three things over a period of time which I have seen which have never grown or aged over a period of time. One is the growth system of this particular organization or the overall corporate world. One is the clarity and the context of the thought which corporate has never given to the organization. And one is the thought process and the mindset. The rigidity in the mindset is not shifting. Because the rigidity of the mindset is not shifting, people are actually stuck in a loop. And that loop is never ending loop at the end of the day, right? And because there is a never ending loop, people are not able to progress next to where we are today or where we have to head today. I think it's very important to understand that this generation wants simple three things, which is learning, clear context, and value-driven approach. If you give them these three things, they will come out very fast and they'll give you the best results possible out of the world. Second is about the feedback. We've been living in a loop where we follow a trend in corporates called as yearly feedbacks. We'll give you feedback after 365 days. I mean, nothing changes after 365 days. We still same in the same boat, right? If you keep that loop to 1 month or a 15 days time, I think a lot of things can change over a period of time. A lot of things can move in a right direction, in a right shape. Small feedbacks can make generational changes in terms of efficiency, in terms of effectiveness, in terms of a lot of other aspects. I was very fortunate enough to interact with the first year batch yesterday. There were a lot of good interaction, good insight came out of it. People were actually telling me that they are not getting time to think differently out of the box. They're too indulged in the system. And that is, I think, the root cause of a lot of things which are happening around the society. That is actually changing a lot of ways we are looking at things. And I think if we break the chain, if we change the impact of that, a lot of things can matter over a period of time. The third is the growth aspect, which I call it as a rational or unconventional decision making or unconventional way of thinking. Growth is very simple. If A lot of organizations are still wondering or still putting time how many hours you spend on work, how many hours you spend on a particular task. No, the era is changing, the era is moving. How many skills are you developing over a period of time? Because the generation we are in, the technology is evolving every day, the technology is changing every week. There's global uncertainty in everything that we are doing over a period of time. Everything is moving, everything is shaping in a different direction. So how come you say that how many hours you're spending on a task? You should rather ask how many new skills are able to learn, which means you need to unlearn a lot of stuff. You need to put a lot of effort to learn new things, and that's the new normal. That's the absolute new normal, which we all need to, focus upon. And I'm so tired of all of us telling this generation, you need to work on your attitude, you need to work on your communication, you need to work on how you speak to others, the unconventional way, the unconventional route of the things. But I think none of them is telling them that we give you the right context, we give you the right platform, we give you the right clarity. Once you have the right clarity, the world is yours. You can thrive as much as possible. There's an absolute disappointment I share with my fellow colleagues, with my fellow people across the world as well, that this generation has to be seen with a very different lens. You can't have the same lens, same rigidity, and same side of ecosystem built for people like these. They will not thrive. They'll question, they'll challenge, and they will not stay in the same ecosystem loop. They'll question your existence, they'll question the impact you guys are creating, they'll also question the way you're approaching a fundamental problem. And I think that is something which I would like to see. I would like to look at people who are actually challenging that status quo method, which is the right way to look at things. If you're not looking at things the way it is, or if you're not changing the way things have been done, nothing is going to change over a period of time. That's something which I absolutely want to look at. This generation is not asking you to give you a lot of large transformation programs or large programs to build them. They're asking you to give very simple things in a very structured manner. If you give them then, the trust will improve, the overall positioning will improve, the performance and culture will improve, and everything that an organization is looking in this current century will definitely change the way it is. This generation is actually challenging the belief system of the previous generation, the decades we are in, and this belief system is actually shaking. I am someone who always challenged the status quo. Uh, a sciences student, done my internship in aviation, done a lot of projects in aviation, did my MBA twice because I was not happy once, did it twice, and then landed up a job in HR. So I think I have always questioned the status quo of things, the way it is seen, the way it is looked at, and I'm still questioning. I'm on an India tour for looking at various campuses and presenting a report to my CEO that what's the pulse of the current talent looks like in India. And I feel it's very vibrant, very much energy driven. There are a lot of bright minds who are looking at things in a very unconventional manner. And I absolutely love the vibe. I absolutely love the way we are looking at things. Just to sum up in a very positive manner is that every generation has changed the way things are looking at workplaces and otherwise as well. But I think we need to ask very strong questions from ourselves, that do we really need to ask questions to the people who are honestly challenging the things that matters, or do we need to keep fixing the people in a way where we actually need to fix the system and processes? The answer is very small and simple. If we start fixing the basic processes and systems, the people don't need any fixing. People will automatically thrive. And you are the people, you are the future, you will definitely thrive. I am there. There are a lot of people who are there who will help you this thrive. Just keep the thought going, keep challenging the status quo. The world is yours. Go get conquered. Thank you very much.